Hi, and welcome to 32Soft's demonstration of capacity reporting functionality in some of our existing loaders. Capacity reporting built into 32Soft's production scheduling Excel loaders enables you to determine at a fairly precise level how your production plan, that exists either in the form of open discrete work orders or as a repetitive schedule, will load the resources you have. Our tools allow you to check how your production plan will affect available capacity before updating schedule and issuing work orders in QAD. They determine which work centers and production lines will be used and check if there is enough capacity at the scheduled date. Let's look at capacity planning in the What If work order loader. The What If work order management workbench is designed for production planning in a discrete work order environment. It allows you to simulate and review work center load even before creating or updating work orders in QAD database. Capacity report by work center is generated based on list of work orders on the Orders List tab. You enter in your search criteria, those fields highlighted in yellow, and select the Get Orders button. As always, when you select an action button for the first time, a login screen appears which uses QAD authentication logic to validate your login credentials. Work orders list can include work orders that have been downloaded from QAD and simulation work orders that do not exist in QAD yet. You can add simulation work orders by entering due date, item number, and item quantity. So let's do that. Work order number can be left blank or entered as SIM1, SIM2, etc. This will make it easier to distinguish from existing work orders. What if Work Order Management Workbench does not require users to run CRP recalculation, which is menu 24.1 Recalculate Capacity Plan, to be able to view Work Center Load Report? So let's change some dates here. To generate the capacity report by work center, just click on the CRP report button. The report will show what resources will be used by each work order, available capacity for each resource, and capacity required by each work order operation. The load is subtracted from capacity. Overcapacity appears as a negative number in the remaining capacity column, and undercapacity appears as a positive number. Work order load and start date for each operation is calculated based on item routing. The available capacity is consumed by work order operation based on their start date and work order sequence. As you can see, here is the plan for your simulated work orders. By default, What If Work Order Management Workbench assigns the entire load for an operation to its scheduled start date. If the operation runtime is longer than 1 day or work center does not have required capacity, load can be rolled over to the next working day. And you can check that by going back to the Orders List tab, and let's change the capacity rollover to yes. We then rerun the report. When the capacity rollover flag is set to yes, excessive load is automatically rolled over to the next working day. If work center or machine is over or underloaded, load can be balanced by modifying the work center capacity or the timing and/or the amount of the load. With What If Work Order Management Workbench, you can check for available capacity before creating work orders in QAD or modify work order due dates and quantity to optimize usage of available capacity. Next, let's look at capacity reporting in the Production Scheduling Workbench loader. This This loader is designed for production planning in repetitive work order environment. It allows users to check capacity requirements for existing schedules and for new schedules before updating in QAD database. There are two different capacity reports available in the production scheduling workbench: Capacity Report by Work Center and Capacity Report by Product Line. These two reports use different sources for capacity requirements and capacity availability calculations. In QAD, capacity resources can be work centers and machines, and capacity requirements expressed through item routing. Or capacity resources can be production lines, and capacity requirements expressed as units per hour for item on the production line. Depending on used approach to maintain capacity requirements and availability, either Capacity Report by Work Center or Capacity Report by Production Line can be used. Both reports are generated based on the scheduled quantities. These quantities can include quantities downloaded from QAD and planned changes to production schedule, not recorded in QAD yet. So let's get some orders. And we can also change some of these quantities. Production Scheduling Workbench does not require users to run CRP recalculation, which is menu 24.1 Recalculate Capacity Plan, to be able to view Work Center Load Report. To generate Capacity Report by Work Center, click on the Capacity by Work Center button. This report is very similar to the one for What If Work Order Management Workbench. The load is subtracted from capacity. Over capacity appears as a negative number in the remaining capacity column, and under capacity appears as a positive number. When all available capacity is consumed, the remaining quantity will appear as a positive number in Quantity to Reschedule column. The load on Work Center for each item in operation is calculated based on the standard item routing. The start date for each operation is calculated forward from the schedule date, taking into account operation move, wait, subcontract, run, setup, queue times, and required overlap quantity. The report will show what resources will be used by each work order, available capacity for each resource, and capacity required by each work order operation. To generate Capacity Report by Production Line, user will need to click on Capacity by Product Line button. The load on production line for each item is calculated based on production line capacity and units per hour rate for item production line. Capacity Report by Production Line does not show capacity requirement for each operation, but uses units per hour's rate defined for an item and production line. Changeover time that might be required when switching between items on the same production line consumes production line capacity and is reported as setup time for an item. If the production line is over or underloaded, load can be balanced by modifying production line capacity or the timing and/or amount of the load. This concludes our demonstration of capacity reporting in some of our loaders. Capacity reporting functionality offered by 32Soft allows users to analyze production plans for capacity constraints and streamlines resources in production planning in QAD. If you would like more information about this and other productivity tools, email us at contact@32soft.com or visit our website at www.32soft.com. Thank you.